All right, welcome in to Bettor's Last Stand. We're lucky enough to be joined by an awesome lady here who's breaking into the sports betting industry. Her name is Lauren the Bettor, and she joins us from her home in Texas. Lauren, welcome to Bettor's Last Stand.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, we're really excited to have you. And just real quick for our viewers who didn't know this, I started to follow her on Twitter a while ago, just saw her popping up, and I told Brian Soup here, I said, this girl seems like she's starting to get a lot of notice, and I thought it was really cool. I thought your social media stuff was great, and then what really caught my eye is Coach here gave a nice win total over on UCLA, over 8.5 wins in the Pac-12, and then I saw you went exactly the opposite direction, and I said to Soup, this would be awesome to have her on and at least talk this out with Mark, and yeah, it could be really fun. So again, thank you for joining us. We're really happy to have you here.
Yeah, once again, hey, Lauren, thank you. This is Coach. Once again, for those just joining us, we have Luke. Luke, say hello to Lauren.
Hello, Lauren.
And we also have Soup right here.
Lauren, thank you so much for joining us. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and this is unique, Lauren. I mean, not that females don't, participate in the gambling side of the world, but it is quite unique. You don't run into a whole lot of very, very astute, good bettors that are female. So this is quite unique and exciting for us to have you on.
She's blazing the trail.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing. And I know we'll talk a lot about kind of my background, I'm sure, and how I even got into betting. But it's interesting how it's become so much more normalized lately with all of, there's now been a lot of states who have gone online with sports betting. And so it's kind of gotten me easier to be less intimidated by it. And certainly I've kind of found that for myself of, going from a very intimidating experience going to Las Vegas and staring at this wall of numbers to now in some places you can do it up from your phone. It feels like a game. And, and women, as you guys may know, and your wives probably remind you of this, women often think many steps ahead, which makes us great bettors.
Exactly.
We're great bettors because we anticipate.
Lauren, my fiance, we sat in a blackjack table one time, and I lost 4 hands in a row, and every single thing I did, she told me the opposite to do. If I would have listened to her, I would have been up a lot of money that night.
Lesson learned, Soup.
Yep.
Yeah, Lauren, so tell us a little bit how you got into this. I saw on your Twitter you self-proclaimed Mrs. Mom and Bettor. I like that. So tell us a little bit about you, about your family, and about how you got into this racket.
Yeah, well, so a couple years ago, I started to really get into daily fantasy. So you mentioned that I'm in Texas. There is no legal sports betting, so the best you got is DFS.
Right. And
DFS really, it comes down. It's basically like player prop parlays. Sure. At the end of the day, I know that it's technically a game of skill, but it's a player prop parlay. So I started really getting into playing the DFS games on my phone, like Underdog Fantasy or Prize Picks, and then I started just sharing my picks for no reason other than to just kind of put it out there in the internet of just oh, hey, I think this guy's gonna get this many turnovers or whatever. And then all of a sudden I started getting people commenting on it and either giving me crap for my picks or saying, oh, hey, I'm gonna tail you, or if I didn't post, and this was kind of the interesting thing is if there was an NBA game going on and I didn't post my picks, then people started giving me crap for not posting my picks.
Wondering where you were.
And it was oh wait, people are paying attention. And then and I love going to Las Vegas, and so since I had created my Twitter account, on the trips I'm going to Vegas, then I would share my actual bets that I was putting down, and so it kind of just caught fire that way. But DFS is almost like a gateway drug anyway into,
absolutely
into betting. So you start to get very comfortable with talking odds and different outcomes, and again kind of that anticipating of all right, well, if I think the defense really sucks, then that means that there's going to be a lot of baskets,
right?
And, whatever the case is. And so that was kind of my start. Actually, the true start of betting, though, for me was fantasy football, which I think is very common. It's that sure. kind of social community experience, and sitting in a room with your buddies, doing your draft together, and you start to just kind of get involved that way.
Definitely.
But yeah, that's kind of how it evolved. And I'm married to him now, but at one point I was a girlfriend of someone who really loved sports betting.
Oh, nice.
And so I'd kind of tag along with him to the sports books in Vegas, and like I mentioned, was always kind of intimidated by that experience. And my husband, God love him, was a saint and explained it all to me, because it really isn't that complicated.
Right.
But I think the way that a lot of the sports betting, like the odds and the number, all of those things are presented, can sometimes be a little bit complicated, and you have to do like 3 different math equations to figure out like,
Yeah.
so wait, what do I win if these guys win?
Exactly.
Just make this easy. But yeah, I just really gotten comfortable with like just getting immersed in the community. And so like Twitter, if you follow me on Twitter, which it sounds like you guys do, like you see like a lot of it just comes down to like interacting with people and just like and hearing what they think about a game or a pick. And it's so interesting. And what I love about it is just hearing what people's perspective on games. Because at the end of the day, no one knows what that is.
Exactly. It's good to get perspectives from everybody. It really helps.
So Lauren, that was going to be my next question. You already brought it up. You answered it a little bit, but I was very interested to hear what role your husband plays in all of this betting personality you have now. Does he have any input into your picks, any influence, or does he just stand back and just let you fly?
Yeah, it's a lot of standing back and laughing, where it's just like, yo, you like went 0-5 today. Like, there was a day, it was a couple weeks ago when I'm not a huge baseball bettor, but desperate times call for desperate.
Yes,
measures.
very desperate.
There's nothing to bet on right now.
Right.
So like, there was this day a couple weeks ago where like all of the dogs won, and I literally went 0-5. And so he gives me some crap, and then every once in a while too, I'll like bounce ideas off him of like, yeah, what do you think about the Colts this year? I don't know, and like but generally speaking, I'm kind of a one-woman show. I kind of just do my thing. He's super supportive, obviously. I think he loves that I'm into it, and actually like made a game out of it over the weekend. So we went to Louisiana, which Texans go to Louisiana. It's like the Texans like French Riviera.
Right. How far of a commute was that for you guys?
It's like 5 hours.
Oh,
and the best thing about it is there's like 3 Buc-ee's you can stop on the way, and so it's a great drive.
Hey, tell me about Buc-ee's, because I've heard about it, but I've never eaten there before. What's their specialty?
We don't have time to talk about Buc-ee's. It's like it is like an oasis of a rest stop.
I like it.
Beautiful restrooms, fountain soda options that your heart could, everything that you could desire.
I like that already.
Chocolate covered nuts and pralines.
Oh, yeah.
It's
That's right up our alley.
Hey, Lauren,
it's just the best.
our producer over here, Jubb, is thumbs up, smiling,
shaking his head.
He is like he's
You're
like,
talking his language.
He's like
there.
jealous right now. You're talking about this, and he isn't involved. So, Lauren, that's awesome. So we were talking about baseball, and you sort of made a statement there that echoes our sentiments about baseball. When there's basically nothing else to bet, baseball is it. But do you find baseball as a difficult sport to bet?
Oh yeah, it's very difficult. And in fact, like, I know, Luke, you're the analytics guy, and I applaud you, because that's just I'm not nearly as like stats minded. But when it comes to baseball betting, that becomes very important. Like,
sure.
Very important.
Yes.
But when I'm making baseball bets, and like I mentioned, I mean, I went 0-5. So I'm not gonna pretend like I know what I'm doing. But like, I actually think in a way that baseball, there's way more human factors in that, the outcomes of games, I think, more so than any other sport. And I think mostly because these guys are playing like all the time.
Yeah, that's it.
Absolutely.
Constantly. And so like, maybe they had a night the night before and they just don't feel that good.
Well said. Said.
Those elements, I think, are in play a lot more than, NFL, where it's like one game a week for those guys. And so I like thinking about it in terms of like, all right, so these guys, they're gonna play their doubleheader today, then they're gonna go back home. Like, these guys are just gonna want to end this game as early as they can. There's no way they're gonna hit the over. And actually, like, that way of logic, like,
yes,
I
it
like
applies
that.
a lot.
Wow. Yeah, it's like these guys just want to go back to the Hampton Inn where they're staying. They want to turn on the Netflix, watch their murder documentary. They just want to go home.
Literally.
Like, yeah, and like I said, like, I mean, these guys are humans. Like, it's a day at the office for them.
Sure.
And, you know, and so I find that is kind of the approach I take for baseball. So for what that's worth. But,
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, like baseball is very hard to bet.
I agree 100%.
Yes.
So Lauren,
some people are so good at it. I'm always like impressed by that.
I was able to watch an interview with you the other day, and this is something we're all a part of. We get absolutely smoked on bad beats sometimes. You have to tell everyone that Ace's story. These guys are going to crack up about that, because I was listening to you tell your story, and I've been on that side so many times when I just shut the TV off. I think I have a winner. Coach says you can start smoking the cigar when you think you got a winner like that. So tell everyone about what happened the other night.
Yeah. So, I was in Las Vegas. This was like it was July. And Aces were just crushing the WNBA. Like, Aces were just, winning every single game, just looking great. And they are a great team. So I went into that night thinking, you know what? I'm going to make a statement and put $500 on a WNBA game, because women kick ass and women need to be bet on. And it's just like, yeah, I'm going to do $500. So I marched. And they were playing the Chicago Sky, and I think the spread was like 9 or something.
Right.
I mean, it was just expected to be a blowout.
Yes.
So I, march over to the counter, put $500 down. So $500 money line, Aces. And even the guy at the counter was like, are you sure you want to do it on the money line, not the spread? The spread pays out way better. And I was like, no. Like, I'm going to just keep it simple. Like, no funny business. Aces will just win this outright. Like, duh. So then I go back. Then I go to the pool. I check my ESPN app a few times. At one point, the Aces have literally a 30-point lead. And then I just continue ripping my Coors Light or whatever. I'm just going to forget about it. Like, this is a lot. Then I get my ESPN notification, and the freaking Sky ended up winning.
Unbelievable.
And so, it was literally the biggest comeback in WNBA history. I actually think that when I put the $500 down on the bet, it actually moved the line, because I'm actually convinced, I moved the line when I put that much money down. But anyway, I had probably more fun losing that $500 in terms of having the opportunity to just make fun of myself over that. And you probably saw in the interview, because I also joke about this, that I kept the lights on at Circa that night, a nice donation. And
hey, they needed it when the water was pouring in there last week or the week before. Jeez, they definitely used your $500 for the new carpet or something. I'm sure Derek Stevens appreciated that donation. But is that probably the one? Is that the worst beat to your of recollection for you, or have you had anything else even close to that?
That's definitely the worst beat. I think it was made worse by how public I was about putting the $500 down. Just I was peacocking of look at me, $500 on a WNBA bet. This is unheard of. I was just so, peacocking.
It gave you a good story to tell, so everybody appreciated hearing it.
It sure did. I'm actually really glad it happened, and it's. It gave me something else to bet on that wasn't baseball.
Sure.
Hey, Lauren, it's Luke. I just have a quick question for you. What is your favorite college football and NFL win total this year?
Ooh.
So college football is Fresno State. So I went to Fresno State. So I live in Texas, but I am a Californian. Like many Texans, I am from California.
Yep.
And Fresno State's win total, I think right now it's 9, but when I put money down on it originally, I think the win total was 8.5, so it's moved. But I feel really good about Fresno State this year. I am, obviously partial to it because that is where I went to school. But I feel good about that one. So I put a couple units down on that. I don't typically put more than 1 unit down on futures, but I feel pretty good about that one. So that one's my favorite because I'm going to have fun watching it play out.
Absolutely. Yeah. Do you ever get back to Fresno State games ever? Or do you ever go back and check them out?
Yeah, I do try to go back at least once a season. My parents live in California still,
Okay.
so there's reason to go back there. But yeah, I hopefully can make it out to a game this year. I love going to Fresno State games. It's a ton of fun going to Central Valley, and then that segues me to my favorite NFL futures pick, which would be Raiders. Raiders over 8.5 wins, and why I love the Raiders so much is because Derek Carr and Devontae Adams
Cowboys.
played.
Fresno.
That's right.
Hey, that's
So-
awesome. Jawbar, producer's pumping his fist. He's really happy with you again after talking about rest stop food, and now he's a big Raider fan, so he's pretty pumped up. You said that.
Love it. Love it.
So, Lauren, tell us about a typical college football Saturday for you. And like up here at our place, there's usually like 12 guys get together, and it's just drinking beer all day and gambling and eating and just ribbing each other all day. And usually at the end of the day, we're all hanging our heads because we take a little bit of a beating. But tell us about your typical Saturday of college football. Do you get all your bets in early, or do you, as the day progresses, you bet as it goes?
Yeah, so on a college weekend game, if like we're in Vegas, and we'll try to sometimes be in Vegas during like college weekends, or in Louisiana, I guess now. We'll usually do it like as the day goes. So kind of as games start to come up is when we'll place bets in, or then then sometimes you get the option for live betting too, which is a ton of fun.
Yeah.
But like I think kind of on the whole, like it's like you just mentioning like a college football Saturday. It's like I can smell.
That's what we always say here.
Yeah, it's like that. The sound of the TVs. Actually, so I should actually send you a picture so you guys can see how ridiculous this is. But in our backyard, we have this patio. We have 3 flat screen mounted TVs, and so we are fully ready for football to have all the games on at the same time.
We can relate.
Yeah, we can relate. We're right there with you. We'll send you a picture as well when we're done, because it sounds like you'd have a lot of fun with us. In West Virginia, we get the live betting option. Sports betting's legal here, so throughout the day, we all get our 12 o'clock games in, then our 3 o'clock, and then it goes on and on. And if we're usually getting smoked around 4 or 5 o'clock, we try to load up on the 7 o'clock games.
Yeah, Chase. That always works, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But one thing we have found out, that alcohol and gambling don't mix very well for the outcome, because you get stupid, then you chase, then you bet beyond your means, and then you start to bet with your heart, and it doesn't ever work out good. But you know what? Like you said, with your $500 bet, we at the end of the day we have a blast with it.
Yeah, no, it is like all fun and entertainment and all of that. Actually, it's funny. I asked my little like Twitter followers the other day, like, do you gambling as a form of investment or entertainment? Because there's some people who really do legitimately view it as like a investment vehicle, which I think is really interesting. I think I could see that approach definitely when it comes to futures, particularly. It's interesting, like. I think over half viewed it as both. I think they said, they view it as both entertainment and investments. And I probably, like you guys, view it fully as entertainment. Like it is, I buy my clothes off Amazon. Like I am a fairly cheap person.
Right.
My entertainment budget is gambling. And so that's why it's like, well, if I lose it, it's fine. I mean, I'm not going to.
Yeah, so Lauren, I just pulled those stats up actually off your Twitter. You had a bunch of people who voted on that. 34% people said both, which is actually really, that's funny that you bring that up, and that's a good point actually, because we're big on the entertainment side. But the more people I see on Twitter and getting involved in it, if they see a future they like, or they'll be betting on stuff for 2023 as an investment opportunity. So.
Yeah, it takes a lot of discipline to do that, to tie up your bankroll like that, Lauren, and you actually stick with it, because we get into the mess of like Mark said, or Coach as we refer to him, like he said, we were drinking all day. Maybe at the beginning of the day we were thinking, maybe we can make a little money today, but then by the end of the evening it's like it's just more of a fun thing than it is trying to actually win, because you know how tough that is. Do you prefer college to the NFL, or do you like NFL better as far as betting goes?
I think so. I've always liked watching college football more.
Sure.
But when it comes to betting, I like NFL more.
Gotcha.
NFL, there's kind of less to keep track of, and you can know the players better.
Yeah.
And so, you know, when it comes to like player props or even just like the overlay with like my fantasy football team,
Yeah.
like I like that about the NFL, where
Yeah.
it's like, you know, there's only so many guys out there. You
Sure.
know, and with college, sometimes it's like I can't keep up.
How about now with the transfer portal? You got all these guys moving schools, and
Right.
it's impossible. Even if you love a team, it's hard to know all the players. I mean, it's really
Totally, exactly. So like on the whole, watching college football trumps NFL
Sure.
for me, but betting, I feel a little bit more locked into NFL.
I got you. Yep.
Than I did college.
Yeah. So when you guys were in Louisiana, you were gonna say, I saw this. Was that you and your husband that did that Bayou contest? Is that how that works?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about how that came about.
Oh yeah. So I mean, after so many years of marriage, you got to keep things spicy, right?
Sure.
So, it was actually his idea, where he kind of put together this little worksheet of just different things to bet on. Of just, all right, separately we'll each pick our heavy favorite, our Super Bowl winner, with your head futures bet, wild card bet, just different kind of bets. And so it's just this mix and match play where each of us got $1,200 to do it, and basically spray and pray on what we wanted, and then the winner gets what they chose. They're choosing, and I chose, if I win, a Chanel purse.
Ooh.
And if he wins, we get to go on a trip of his choice. So,
Oh, that's awesome. I was looking through.
I kind of win either way. So.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. I was looking through that sheet. That was pretty cool. I was actually thinking about making us guys at the Pine Room do that, throwing a few bucks and try that out. You gave us a good idea with that, so that was really cool.
Should.
Yeah.
Okay. You totally should. You should.
Go ahead, Lauren. Go ahead.
Throw your significant others into it too. Like, I think it's fun to do stuff like that, and then it just gives you something. What I love about football is like just how sticky it makes you.
Right.
Like you just get so invested in it.
Absolutely.
It's like Christmas. We're waiting on Christmas. I feel like Santa Claus is coming. Santa Claus is going to be here in 2 weeks. This coming Saturday. We're like giddy. We're like little kids. It's incredible. All right, Lauren. Here we go. I'm going to throw a few of our on Bettor's Last Stand. A few of our best picks, and you just say you just tell me whether you agree or disagree. You don't have to give me a reason or whatever. I'm just going to throw them out quickly here. Some of the ones that each week we do one of the Power 5 conferences. We break down the Power 5 conferences, and then we break down one of the divisions in the NFL. So I'm gonna throw a few at you. You give me yay or nay, or you abstain. You ready?
Okay.
All right.
I'm ready.
All right. You're right. Stanford over 4.5 wins.
No.
Okay, I'm writing this down now.
He's gonna listen. Lauren, every
Luke,
single one that you give Lauren, he'll take probably.
Now listen,
Cardinals.
I know the answer to this one already. You've already made this publicly known, and I was heavy on this. And you and I are probably going to battle here. We might have to make a little side bet on this one. UCLA over 8.
No.
Well, that was an emphatic no.
Yeah.
What the heck was
Shut that down
Right.
quick.
That's right.
All right. Hey, listen.
Brewing without brewing.
Listen. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna bet. I'm gonna take UCLA over 8 and I'm gonna, if it doesn't happen, I'm gonna send you a Pine Room shirt, okay?
Okay.
And some swag. And if it goes over 8, what are you gonna send me?
I'll send you a Fresno State.
Ooh,
we love
Perfect.
all right. We good on that bet. Everybody hears
Yeah.
that.
Absolutely. Witnesses.
Okay. Oregon State over 5.5.
Yay.
Oh, okay. That was Matt's.
Yeah. All right. I like it better now. All right.
Okay.
I'm going to go double up on that.
All right, now we're going to NFC West. Seattle, the Seahawks over 5.5 wins.
No.
No. Jeez, Luke,
She's 0 for 2 against
Luke,
you,
she's
Luke. Yeah.
Okay, I got in the same division. Arizona Cardinals under 9. Under 9.
Yay.
You like
All
them
right.
under 9?
Yeah.
Okay, we're 1-1. Okay, we're going to the Big 12. Kansas State over 6.5.
Yay.
Oh, Luke, she finally
There you
likes
go.
your pick. All right, this is another one of mine, just for one of our buddies here. You'll probably get a kick out of this one because I doubt if many people will bet this. The Jayhawks of Kansas University over 2.5 wins.
Yay. I think they'll turn it around.
Yeah,
Jayhawks.
Oh, Nick will be ecstatic to hear that. All right, and everybody's heavy on this is Matt's big play. Baylor over 7.5.
Yay.
All right.
Wow. Okay.
Lauren, I do have a lock for you if you're interested in that in a winner.
I'm always interested.
Yeah,
in
so-
she's going to hop in the car and go to Louisiana right
Well,
now.
she's only 5 hours away.
Jeez.
So
On my way now.
September 1st, West Virginia University heads to play the Pitt Panthers in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Absolutely hammer the Mountaineers at plus 6.5. I'm giving you that as a lock, and if I'm wrong on this, you don't ever have to listen to me again.
Lauren, be careful. He bets a lot with his heart. The Steelers and the Mountaineers, it doesn't matter the line, who they're playing, where it's at. He's taking them, and he gives them out as his lock every week. So take that for what it's worth. I'd be careful laying 500 on it, though. All right. Okay, here we go. In the NFL, Denver under 10.
Yay.
I like
right.
Russell Wilson this year, Coach, but I'm with you with the under the 10 as well.
Yes.
Yeah, I think they'll be good, but yeah, I don't think they'll be over 10.
Tough division.
Was that my pick?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Okay. All right, we're going to go back to college. All right. We're going to the ACC. Louisville over 6.5 wins.
No.
Agreed there.
Not happening.
Go Cardinals.
This is one of my good plays too. I like this one. Wake Forest over 8.5.
No.
You and I are going to battle here. Matt. This might have been Matt's lock of the century here. Virginia Tech under 6.5.
I love this bet.
I actually took the over on that one.
Oh, no. Oh, one of us is going to be real happy.
Oh shoot!
Dang.
All right, now we're going to move to the NFL. Carolina, the Panthers over 6.5.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
No.
Good.
Yeah, maybe next season, but not this season.
Okay, Tampa Bay to win the division.
Well, that's a big
that's
one.
a stretch.
Well, we were under rain. Lauren, when we were giving that play out on our show last week, it started pouring down rain on us, and we do most of our stuff outside, so we had to scramble. So we just said Tampa to win the division. We all agreed on that one, and then just had to pack everything up real quick. So.
All right, and then we'll end this segment. Yesterday we did a show, and I gave out. We moved to the Big Ten. And I gave this as my Big Ten lock of the first week. Please go to Vegas and bet this. I'm pleading with you, please. Purdue plus 3.5 against Penn State opening day, September 1. Please bet it.
Yeah, I agree with that. That does seem like a lock.
Who do you like in the Big Ten this year? Is there any teams that catch your eye? The future bet that you made when you were in Louisiana or anything?
So I didn't personally make this bet. My husband did, but I'm going to tail him.
Sure.
Ohio State. I think Ohio State's going to have a hell of a year.
Yeah. We get a lot of. We have a ton of Ohio State people in this area that we all live. None of us are Ohio State fans, but we come in contact with them regularly. So unfortunately for us, they're going to be pretty good this year, and we'll hear all about it. I don't see any way they don't win the Big Ten, but. You never know, I guess.
Yeah.
How about in the?
I mean, Michigan did their thing last year, but I just don't think that they're gonna beat it. So,
we all agree with that. We were pretty unanimous on that. What about in the AFC South? Anything you like from that division?
AFC South. I like Colts. I think everybody likes the Colts.
Right.
I mean, I think the Titans will have a good year, especially when you think about how Derrick Henry was out as long as he was last season, and they still pulled off a great year.
Right.
But I like the Colts. They just have a better team, I think, like soup to nuts.
Luke's big pick for the AFC South was that Derrick Henry lead the NFL in rushing yards.
And set the all-time record, maybe.
Yeah, he even did that. If you could find that somewhere, it'd be a pretty good return to bet on.
That's not a bad bet. That is not a bad bet. I think Derrick Henry will, as long as he stays healthy, again, in the few games he did play last season, he crushed it.
Yes. Can he stay healthy? If he does, I think he's got a chance. Yeah.
Yeah, Lauren, I got one more question. I'm a diehard Irish fan. Do you think the Notre Dame Fighting Irish will get over 9.5 wins this year?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't even really looked at their schedule.
More importantly, do you think they'll cover week 1, 14,
Right.
getting 14 and a half?
Against Ohio State, at Ohio State.
Will they cover?
Don't-
No, they won't.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lauren, you should have been nice to him. And
No,
say-
we've already all told him that, Lauren. Don't worry, you're not hurting his feelings any worse than we have. So.
So, Lauren, give us any. Let me. You say you haven't looked at week 1 too much yet, correct?
No, not really. I've looked at just more season totals.
Okay, so give us a couple of your best season totals because I'm going to the window as soon as we get done here with what you give me. I got a pocket full of money and I'm headed that way. So give me your heavy steam.
All right. Well, okay. Here's a hot take. This is highly controversial. Texans suck. I get it. Texans suck. Let me just start off by saying.
Yeah, you're spot on right there, Lauren.
They suck, but I don't think they're going to suck as badly this season as they did last season. So where I'm going with that is I took the over 4.5 total wins.
I can see that. We talked yesterday on our show about that we thought their quarterback, Davis Mills, played pretty good for a rookie. Thought he maybe was the best rookie last year, actually. And, if he improves a little bit, I agree. I think they could definitely do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, continue on. I've got that marked down. That's a 2-unit play for me, heavy.
Let me give you maybe here's what I've got. This is maybe not exactly what you're asking, but Jonathan Taylor, most rushing touchdowns.
We'll take anything.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah. I mean, there's still question marks about, Matt Ryan, how, is Jonathan Taylor going to run the ball as much, I guess there's some questions there, but, kind of like Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor just crushed it so substantially last season that even if he doesn't perform as well as last season, I still think he's going to be the top.
Lauren, I like that bet a lot, actually, because with Matt Ryan coming into the Colts, I think they're going to open it up a little bit more and start throwing the football. So when they get down into that 4 or 5 yard mark right by the goal line, I mean, it might open it up the defense a little bit for Jonathan Taylor to get a lot of touchdowns. So I like that bet.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I mean, I think on the whole, Colts will have a great year, but it's interesting for the player level props, how that game of chess looks, once they're all together and what that chemistry looks like. But still, I feel pretty good about Jonathan Taylor on the most rushing touchdowns. And then I guess one more for you would be Alabama. I hate saying this, by the way. I'll also preface it with it because I hate Alabama, but I think Alabama NCAA championship.
Yeah, I
don't see how they're going to lose any regular season games.
Yep, I agree.
First of all, and I think they're going to take the championship.
Okay,
sadly.
all right.
I don't like saying it, but I'm going to.
Yeah, say it. Especially with Saban coming off a loss in the championship like that, and he said he had a
he got something to prove.
Yeah, he said he had a rebuilding year last year, which is unbelievable. So I like that too.
I know. I like Bryce Young. He'll be the first ever to be a 2-time Heisman winner. I like that a lot as well.
There we go.
Ooh, that's a bold one, Luke.
Good one, Luke. Yeah. All right, hey Lauren, if you're ever this way, you ever come east, Pittsburgh, Charleston, somewhere, we're going to send you our address for the Pine Room and put it in your GPS. We expect to see you up here.
I will absolutely stop by.
You'll have what kind of beer you drink? We'll have it ready. We'll have it on ice.
Of course, Silver Bullet.
Oh,
Rockies.
Okay.
Cool the mountains down. Hey, real quick, Lauren, before we let you run, what kind of advice do you have for ladies? I know we talked a little bit about the intimidation factor and things like that, but I think it's really cool that more women are getting into sports betting, and I think that's a great thing. And so give our listeners just some guidance, some tips, how to try to do it if they're interested, how not to be afraid, just any words of wisdom you have.
I think, my words of wisdom are kind of the same for life in general, but don't be afraid to fail. You're gonna lose bets, you're gonna make bad decisions, or you make good decisions and they still don't win.
Sure.
And that's part of the game, and don't get discouraged by that. It's all fun. Don't take yourself too seriously, and take it all for what it is, which is it's a game. It's gambling, and it's fun, and so But yeah, don't be afraid to fail.
Awesome.
And don't be afraid to ask questions either. So, the guys at the counter are always so helpful.
Sure.
The apps, I think, are doing a better job even explaining what, all of it means. And so, take those resources and get comfortable with it and don't be intimidated.
Yeah, exactly. And, that's an interesting point you made there about people at the counter, how they help you. I find in the sports book that I run, the women always come up and ask the better questions. They seem less afraid to ask questions, whereas the men, they'll pretend they know what they're doing even if they don't. So, so kudos to all the ladies out there getting into sports betting.
Hey, Lauren, we're going to let you go, but I want you to root for one thing while you're watching sports over the next couple of months. I took the Baltimore Orioles to make the playoffs like a month ago when the odds were ridiculous, just because I liked them, and they are so hot right now, and it's given me something to root for in the MLB because we're huge Pirates fans. So the Pirates are a mess. But if you see the Orioles making some noise, just know that I have them to make the playoffs, and I need a little bit of magic down there in Texas for you guys to root for them.
Did you get 18 to 1, Sue?
Awesome.
18 to 1. Yeah,
he
so
got
we're rooting for
he got
him.
18 to 1. Yeah. Yeah, so
Root for him. That's awesome.
yeah, so Lauren, it was really a pleasure talking with you. We really had fun. Thank you again for joining us. It's really been a pleasure to talk to you. We really had a lot of fun. Just thank you for everything. And people at home, follow Lauren. Check her out on Twitter, Lauren the Bettor. Correct me if I'm wrong on any of these handles. So you're at Lauren the Bettor on Twitter, and you're at Lauren the Bettor on Instagram and TikTok. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, so people go ahead and check her out. She's got great content, fun videos every single day. She's got great pics, so keep an eye on her. Retweet her stuff. Check her out, like her stuff. Give her some thumbs ups, whatever it takes. We want her to do well. I think you are going places in this industry, so best of luck to you. And from us Pine Room guys, got any final send-off words for Lauren?
Yeah, Lauren, we hope you had as much fun as we did. This is very, very enjoyable. We've had some guests on, and this has been as much fun as we've had yet. This was really enjoyable, laid back, relaxed, and don't forget about that bet. What size T-shirt you wear?
Small.
All right, so I gotta write that. I'm XL, by the way, for that Fresno. When my Bruins win 9, I'm gonna run to the mailbox every day looking for that Fresno shirt. So thanks again. This has been a real blast, and best of luck to you. And I hope we cross paths someday.
Would love it. Awesome. Thank you guys.
Yes. Thanks, Lauren.
Thanks, Lauren. Take care.
Lauren, take care.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
See you.
All right, thanks for joining us on Bettor's Last Stand, our feature with Lauren the Bettor. Guys, that was a really fun time. Thoroughly enjoyed that.
That was a good one.
She's awesome.
Hopefully
man.
we'll have her back sometime. Maybe get her talk fantasy football or something. So
that was a great one.
everybody at home, be sure and message us. Get a hold of us on social media. Email the show. Contact at the Pine Room Podcast. Let us know what you thought about Lauren and any of our other guests, actually. So anyway, for us crew here, Bettor's Last Stand and Judd behind the camera, we'll see you next week.